What's good, YouTube? It's your boy LukeZno back with another video. In today's video, we're gonna be reacting to 100 men versus 100 gorilla. The honest truth, like who really wins, 100 men or 100 gorilla? Because I've been hearing this debate. I feel like 100 men is taking down the gorilla. Because
stop the cap.
Y'all niggas really don't understand. Like, I feel like you guys are. Hey, bro, let's just get straight into this video type shit. 3, 2, 1.
Recently, all of social media has been blowing up with the debate of one gorilla versus 100 humans. The funny thing is that everyone seems completely divided onto who would win the fight. One side thinks that the gorilla would pull a Winston and just completely thrash the army of humans with ease, while the other side believes that the sheer numbers would let the humans just beat up the gorilla like it's Naruto. But who is actually correct? Is a gorilla versus 100 people actually a fair fight, or is it actually a stump?
It is not fair for the gorilla.
Or do the humans? Let's find out. If you like this kind of stuff, make sure to like, subscribe, and let's jump right. Of the 4 gorilla species, easily the largest and strongest would be a silverback eastern lowland gorilla. At the absolute largest, gorillas can stand over 6 feet tall and weigh between 400 and 500 pounds, the largest ever being about 600 pounds or even beyond. However, this fails to capture how a gorilla's overall proportions drastically exceed that of a normal human, with a wingspan of over 8 feet, drastically more muscle mass, and
8 feet? What the fuck? Okay, nigga, I didn't know they were 8 feet. But if we're doing the average humans versus the average gorilla, average American humans versus a silverback gorilla, 100 men, I'm telling you guys.
And far less body fat. In comparison to the peak gorilla, the group of humans will be made up of 100 average people. There will be no boxers, nor MMA fighters or athletes, and instead it will just be 100 totally normal people with totally normal physical stats.
Even regular people would be one gorilla.
Women. Now, technically, average height and weight varies somewhat drastically across the planet, so for this video, we'll be taking the stats from just Americans when possible. This means the 50 men in the group will be on average 5'9" and almost 200 pounds, while the 50 women in the group will be on average 5'4" and 170 pounds. Now, to be fair, Americans are kind of fat, so the statistics of a healthier nation doesn't change these values very much, or the outcome in my opinion. Still, either way, the gorilla is going to be far larger than any single human, exceeding them in height by a couple inches and being casually twice the weight of the average man. Also, just so we're all on the same page, this is what 100 people looks like. It's definitely not a small group, but it's also not a
no. Think about it, 100 people ain't even a lot.
Lectures have more people than this in them.
Like, that's a lot, but like, it doesn't look a lot.
Determining the true strength of a gorilla is incredibly difficult for multiple reasons. Firstly, gorillas ultimately are not a predatory species, so in comparison to something like a bear, a wolf, or any of the big cats, they rarely, if ever, go out of their way to attack humans. Secondly, unlike for humans that will willingly do experiments to test the limits of human strength, doing the exact same thing is almost impossible for gorillas, because they're not just going to do a bench press for a couple of bananas, unfortunately. This forces most, if any, estimations of gorilla strength to be just that, estimations based off of their bodies and the very rare instances of strength that we have seen from them. Thirdly, there is a lot of hearsay and misinformation regarding gorillas, with most online sources claiming completely different stats for what gorillas are actually capable of. Finally, a lot of info about gorillas that does exist is oftentimes really old. The biggest issue, though, is that inconsistent information. For example, one website says they can lift 1,800 pounds, while another claims they can lift more than twice that at 4,000 pounds. Things get even more wild when these resources in terms of humans. Some claim that a gorilla is 8 times stronger than an average man. Another claims that they are 4 to 10 times stronger than a human. Another source claims 12 times, with another claiming that gorillas are a whopping 20 times stronger than a human. Clearly, the only consistent thing agreed on here is that gorillas are stronger than humans, but this much variation in number between sources is enough to say that these numbers are completely made up or very unsubstantiated. So let's look to what actual researchers have said about gorillas, or what we have actually seen them do in real life. Consistently, gorillas have been seen uprooting thin banana trees, shattering protective glass, and have broken human arms in brief attacks. Smaller and weaker primates like chimpanzees have shown feats of strength 2 to 3 times stronger than that of a normal human, around 800 to 1,200 pounds. Given that chimps are less than a quarter of the weight of a gorilla, suddenly the 4,000-pound claims look slightly more valid and would approximately make them 8 to 10 times stronger than a human.
Okay, that makes more sense since we're actually in the stats and statistics. But you niggas are stupid. 100 men are still beating one gorilla. You guys fail to realize, you guys underestimate 100 men. 100 men, 100 women. 50 men versus 50 women. I mean, both of them come out, whatever. You guys fail to underestimate 100 men, because real shit. Look, they can go in groups, right? One of the groups, they topple on the gorilla, they grab him, they put him to the floor. The other group starts beating him up, bashing him, bro. They just like, bro, there's just so much outcomes. I don't think one gorilla is beating 100 men. There's no way.
Lifting wise, though strength and weight don't exactly work like that in a 1-to-1 ratio.
Because if they all gang up on him, then it's over.
Because
Because they can just topple over him, like they can jump on him.
More legitimate, as these were real interactions in the wild. We have accounts from 19th century explorer Paul Chalu recounting gorillas snapping and bending metal guns with their bare hands, or even an older account from explorer Andrew Patel that recounts that 10 people were unable to pin a gorilla down. Finally, we have more speculative calculations around things like gorilla bite force and punching strength, which is incredibly difficult to calculate without, having the gorilla punch something that actually measures the force. Still, even the most lowball calculations put the gorilla's strength at around 881 joules of force, with the highest being 3,660 joules of force. In comparison, humans output only about 74 joules with their punches, which would make the potential difference in punch power anywhere from around 10 to 50 times. I don't think really speed is something we really need to talk about here. It isn't like other power scaling topics where either side is a blitz difference faster than the other or anything like that. Gorillas and humans are simply comparable in overall speed, with the gorilla being a bit faster in bursts of muscular power, though such speeds aren't exactly sustainable.
Gorillas have the acceleration. I'll give them that.
Larger, heavier, and more powerful than multiple humans combined. Either way though, are the humans cooked? Let's get into it. Now, in a 1v1, 2v1, or even 10v1, I think the gorilla could pretty easily take it. From everything we've seen, from historical accounts to estimations, a gorilla may legitimately be around 10 times the strength of average humans, making all of these random articles potentially correct even if they were just yapping. Single strikes and bites from a gorilla is going to be breaking bones of whoever is unlucky enough to be in range. As they tend to do, they can also easily grab, lift, and pull around any human they manage to grab. Furthermore, most attacks from a human are simply not going to legitimately harm a gorilla, the difference in the basic lifting and punching power being so immense that the person punching the gorilla would probably hurt their hands more than the gorilla's body. But as the number of humans increases towards 100, things get worse and worse for the gorilla for multiple reasons. Firstly, fatigue. Gorillas are not used to, nor are they really built for long, drawn-out fights. Most conflicts between gorillas only last a couple minutes at most, which is actually true for most humans as well. But while the gorilla might tear through 20, 30, 40 people, boom, there are still 60 humans the gorilla has to beat in order to win. Secondly, in this fight, strategy and coordination genuinely matter. For this fight to even happen, we kind of need to ignore the concept of fear for both sides.
Yeah, that's exactly, because people keep saying like, oh, the 100 humans gonna run away after they realize gorilla's strength. If they put their full commitment to the cause, it's over for the gorilla. That's for sure.
If a gorilla saw a group of 100 humans, they are very likely not going to attack and just run away. On the other side, if most people saw a gorilla beating up a dude, they're not going to jump in and help out.
Exactly.
They are also running away. With that being said, if both sides legitimately want to beat the other with full conviction and no other options, 100 people can pretty quickly coordinate to absolutely bum rush on the gorilla, who simply would not be able to attack every person at once, even 20 people at once. Which brings up the third thing. Weight. For as strong as a gorilla is, especially a potentially tired gorilla is simply not strong enough to hold off the weight of a coordinated group of humans. At the mid-end estimation of 1,800 pounds, even just 20 200-pound humans would be able to pin down a gorilla, with the only claim to the contrary being from a guy born in the 1500s. Would
some of these sources are old as shit
in this effort to pin him down? But again, there are 50 dudes all prepared to do this, let alone the 50 women. But pinning isn't enough. The gorilla would need to be defeated, and even without tools, humans should be able to actually hurt gorillas. While human punches are far weaker than the apes, human kicks are overall far stronger. It can range from over 3,000 to over 4,000 joules, which is actually stronger than gorilla punches from a pure energy output standpoint, as crazy as that sounds. So while
I never knew about that. So a normal human is a kick is more like powerful than a gorilla's punch from pure energy. Sure. That's insane. I never knew that.
Kicking a gorilla would probably do nothing. Several dozen people all kicking at a gorilla's head while he's
he's over. The gorilla's done.
Actually take him out. So
Literally.
yes, 100 humans could be a gorilla. If
Exactly.
gorillas were truly
Exactly
a
my
threat to
point.
literally 100 humans at a time, there would be far...
Exactly my point. Anyways, if you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go watch my last video, go watch my next video. Peace.